I've used Ozone for probably the last 5 or 6 years. Used it quite intensively, seen all the different versions come up. I've used Neutron since it came out because I was fascinated by particularly its ability to be able to check on frequency clashes whilst you're actually mixing. What I wasn't expecting was what some of the new technology built into both Ozone 8 and Neutron 2 threw up in my mind and just in workflow. I thought it's created something that I've never seen any plugin do before. Favourite new feature, without a shadow of a doubt, has to be the interaction between what I would consider to be a suite of tools now. For example, when you pull up the Tonal Balance Control, you have access to any of the EQs that you can find within either the Neutron or Ozone, and you can make changes directly from one plugin across multiple plugins. That is fantastic. The other bit that I loved was the assistant technology. The new Tonal Balance plugin, for the first time, for a long time, since the days of VU meters, for me, gives people a target to work for. Modern mixing is incredibly complicated and difficult and can be really stressful because you're constantly trying to push the boundaries of what a stereo audiophile can handle at the back end of it. What I found amongst younger producers is, or even experienced producers, is sometimes they get confused. They don't quite know how things should sound. So to have a visual aid that shows you how a modern record kind of should sound gives you something to aim for whilst you're actually mixing, and that can be of tremendous help. I was kind of very skeptical about the assistant technology in both, but I've already used it in the original version in Neutron and it threw up some good stuff. This second generation within Neutron is doing some remarkable things. That now we talk about Ozone with its first assistant, bearing in mind this is the first iteration of this technology, of which there will be plenty more. So for me, what's interesting is the way it's been, the terminology that's been used. It's been called an assistant. And if you think about how the studio structure within personnel work, the engineering assistant is the guy who does all the plugging up, often makes suggestions to the engineer, but doesn't actually make the final judgments or the final assessments of the actual sound. And that's, for me, how it's been named perfectly. This will do things and throw up suggestions that you may not have thought of. It is never going to be able to react 100% in the same way as the best mastering solution, which is a human being in a perfectly treated room. But please bear in mind, a lot of the mastering engineers I know use Ozone.